Welcome everybody to the second ESL iPad tray webinar. I just wanted to run through the agenda for you right now, just so you know what we're going to be getting into. I'll be doing this intro, just going over some updates, some important dates for you guys to put on your calendars. Then after that, she created a new everything series about app smashing. Some of you are already doing it and you don't even know you're doing it, and it's really cool, and she put a lot of resources on the website, so we'll go over that. And we're going to do our spotlight teacher, who is Jean Porter at JH Gunn. She's doing amazing work, so we appreciate Jean coming on here and helping us out. And actually, we kind of have a few spotlight teachers, because then after we interview Jean, Rashawn's gonna go over some digital storytelling apps and avatar apps that are really cool that you're definitely gonna want to use in your classrooms. And then she's gonna talk with some teachers about what they're doing in their classrooms. So we're gonna have a bunch of teachers sharing their work and what they've been doing, and hopefully what they want to do tonight on tonight's webinar. And then and a lot of those ideas will help you with your project ideas. So if you're unsure of what kind of project you want to do this year, hopefully after the webinar tonight you'll get some more ideas. And then at the end we'll do some questions if you have any. And there is a homework assignment tonight. So I just want you, during Kristen's part, she's going to talk about something called Pick, Play, Post. Okay, we are going to ask you to create one of these, and we'll get into it more later. So just pay attention to Kristen's part, because you'll see some examples of that. Let's see, important dates. We are going to have another help desk on January 20th. So basically, we'll send out another webinar invite just like tonight, and we'll be on the webinar all day. And if you have any questions for us, you can just log on to the webinar, ask us questions, get some feedback, and then you can leave. You don't have to stay on. It could be just a 2-minute thing if you want. Last time, some people stayed on for a few hours. They were hoping to hear what other people were asking. And then some people hopped on real quick, asked us a question, and then got off. So we'll do that January 20th, and you'll get an email about that. Next webinar will be March 16th. So we're not going to have another webinar like this for almost 2 months. And that is actually the same week as the poster session. So that's going to be kind of wrapping things up, getting ready for that Friday, which will be the poster session, which we will talk about a little bit tonight. As far as the poster session, that is going to be, I said Friday, so that's March 20th. And we are going to get everyone a trifold, so you can start thinking about how you want to present your work. We're going to give you a trifold, and you can put pictures and whatever you want on there and decorate it, make it look cool. And hopefully we get everyone to do it. Plus, if you have other people at your school that are part of your team that are doing their own projects, hopefully we can get them involved too. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to invite a lot of people. That L-Chair meeting tends to have a lot of people in it, because it's the last one of the year. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys should be proud. You guys are working hard. I think it's a good opportunity for you guys just to show off your hard work this year. So I think our vision is, let's invite some principals. We're going to invite some learning communities, some tech people throughout the district, and we really want to show you guys off. And you guys are doing amazing work, and you guys saw what Christina did in the first webinar, and some people were really motivated by that, and hopefully we could show some of their work tonight, and hopefully some of you for next time. Be prepared. We are going to start reaching out. We just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable and is on the right track. We know there are some schools that just got their trays set up or are just getting them set up now, so they're a little bit behind in the game. But we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you're prepared for that poster session on March 20th. We want you guys, everyone to present, and you guys are here for a reason. You did that application, you're great teachers, and we don't want that to be holding you up. So we are going to be reaching out to pretty much all of you, especially the people who haven't gave us feedback on what their project is going to be. We sent out a Google form a few weeks ago asking if your trays have been set up and what your project was or project ideas are, and some of you did not get back to us with that, so we'll be reaching out to you. And also, if you do have a project idea and you're working on it already, we can come out and help support and take pictures and pretty much just be there to help. Okay, what else? Credit and the first webinar. Okay, so you guys are getting credit. There is a delay in putting it into the My Talent program, and the reason is, and I think we've shared this before, but I just want to remind everybody in case they're wondering about it. Basically, everyone in the ESL department used to be able to enter classes in My PD, but when they switched over to My Talent, they limit us to about 2 people from our whole department that can enter courses in My Talent. And unfortunately, Kristen, Rashawn, and myself, none of us are one of those people. So we got to take our turn in entering the course, and eventually it will get done and you will get credit. So when we do assignments and we give things out in the Google Classroom or a Google form, make sure you're doing it, because we are keeping track of everything. And if you want all the credit, you got to do all the assignments. Okay? Also, some of you missed the first webinar, and you did reach out to me, and I told you we were going to be posting it on the Google Classroom. It is about to be posted. There was a very long delay, but we are working on some questions to go along with the webinar. So eventually, soon, the first webinar will be posted on the Google Classroom, and also this webinar is being recorded right now, and we'll post that one too. So if anyone's not here tonight listening to this, they'll have to watch it another time and answer questions just to prove to us that they did watch it. And again, there is a homework assignment that we want you to do. It should be a fun assignment. It shouldn't take you long, and it's definitely something that you can use in your class, so it's beneficial. It's not just something that's a waste of time with the Pick, Play, Post app. And so just pay attention to when Kristen's speaking, and we'll get into that more at the end. Kristen, Rashawn, am I forgetting anything? My phone is just blowing up on me over here, so you're making me think I'm forgetting stuff. So
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
All right. Well, I think that's all I have. Let me just look at my notes real quick. Oh, one more thing. A lot of you are doing Erasmus projects, which is awesome. Okay. So basically, what's going to happen is when we're doing the poster session, people are going to be walking around. They might stop at your booth or your trifold and ask you questions and see your work, and they might want to see your Erasmus channels. So we were thinking about making one ESL Erasmus channel that all of you would put your stuff on. That way people can walk around and scan everybody's under the same channel. But we decided, since some of you already started and you've already created your own channels, that's fine. We're going to leave it like that. But you will need to bring some of your student iPads with you. And that way, when someone stops at your trifold, they can pick up one of your iPads, scan your board, see your Erasmus videos, and then when they're done, they'll leave the iPad with you. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the poster session. We just don't want you to change your Erasmus channels, because some of you have been asking about that. Okay, that's enough of me. We're going to get into the good stuff now. Kristen created an everything series. Last time it was the SAMR model, and that's how to integrate technology into the classroom. This time she did one on app smashing, and I'm going to show you how you can access this. So I'm much on the TEL wiki or the ESL wiki, and Mershawn does a great job of updating this. So anything that's new is going to be right on this front page here. So Kristen's Everything series was the last thing created by the department, so that's why it's front and center here. But if you want to see some of our other resources, I'm going to go ahead and click on 21st Century Learning. And over here, where the heart is, you have the Everything series, so I'm going to click on that. And so we have 3 so far, and we're going to do app smashing. So that's how you get to that. And you guys got to check this out. Look at all the stuff that's on here. It's ridiculous. She made this in like 2 hours. Can you guys believe that? So the Everything series, app smashing. Got the guy who termed the phrase. We got Jean, our super teacher, and everything you need to know about app smashing. So if you have no idea what app smashing is, you're about to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over the screen to Kristen's, and then it's going to be her turn.
Okay, let's see. Let me bring up my stuff in Chrome here. How it's going to work out. Okay. Is everyone seeing okay? Do you see it, Bill?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, well, I'm really excited to share the idea of app smashing. You might have heard it called something else before, and you might not have ever heard it called anything, but it's the idea of layering apps. Maybe it's app layering or multi-apping, or somebody's calling it app synergy. Well, the most widely used term for it is app smashing. And so this gentleman here, Greg Kulowick, he first coined the term app smashing. And it's when you take an app and you create something in an app, and then you take another app and create something else, and you put them together and you smash them. And then once you've created this project with multi-apps involved, then you publish the content to the web. And that, my friends, is app smashing. So we have a lot of great things to show you today. Over the next 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to be telling you about app smashing. I'm going to be showing off some wonderful things that Jean Porter has been doing in her ESL class with her students. She was actually app smashing and she didn't even know it. She was like the perfect example to show you all, and I can't wait to show you what her students have been doing. She's going to be doing our interview with us. So let me fill you a little bit. There's kind of layers that we're going to go into tonight. We have a quick intro for app smashing. We're not going to go into that. I'm going to show you the first, say, 2.5 minutes of this video here, which is all about app smashing. If you want to learn more, you can keep watching later. But we're only going to spend 2.5 minutes on this. And then we're going to talk about a few more things related to app smashing. And then I'm going to go a little bit deeper and talk to you about something new called App Flow. And that is something that's going to be diving in deeper. It's almost like app smashing a lesson. So I hope you guys get some good information out of this. So we're going to go ahead and start with this video here and go ahead and do the first 2.5.
Hello there, and today we're going to discuss what actually is app smashing. Well, if you take a look, we have all these fancy apps, right? And sometimes we can use one at a time, create something cool, use another one a different time, create something cool. How can we combine these together to equal one fancy project? App smashing defined the process of using multiple apps in conjunction with one another to complete a final task or project. This is something that we've all been doing for a while, and someone out there just gave it a really fancy name of app smashing. So you take content created in one app, such as maybe a time-lapse video, take content in another app, maybe a pic collage, and you merge it together, even adding music or GarageBand podcast, and the outcome is a smashable app in iMovie or in YouTube Capture. App Smash Toolkit. Here are just a few really snazzy things you could have in your toolkit. Right now, all teachers have iMovie, but as you know, our students do not. So something for them to use is YouTube Capture. It's not the end-all trick, but it does help us where we need to be. Explain Everything is what I am using right now, this very second. And Dropbox is almost like a Google Drive, and you can share items, upload big items. It's really handy. GarageBand, you can create podcasts and songs. Book Creator costs money, but the first book is free. Green Screen Do Ink Kit is actually another one that costs money, but Telegami's free, Sketch free, Pic Collage, another Google Drive, another Book Creator. And the common denominator in all of your App Smash toolkits, whatever apps you use, is your photos. Everything needs to be able to be downloaded into Photos, okay? Then that way they're able to be uploaded to something else. So what do we have here? Let's take a look. We have this video, right? Let's take a look and see what it actually is. Let me move some of these other things out of the way. This is a time lapse that my students created in Small Engines class. Once they finished the time lapse, they were able to download it into their photos. Okay? Pic Collage. Pic Collage is an app where you can insert a lot of different photos and words to create a collage. Here's your camera. You can take videos, pictures. Sketch is another thing that's much like a Pic Collage. Okay? This is a mind mapper. You can create mind maps, export, and save. Telegami, well.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stop right here. Let's see. So I wanted you to get the main things out of this are what app smashing are, what it is, the apps that kind of you need to build fluency in order to do app smashing, and then the most important thing of all, which all of us love probably the most and your students adore the most on the iPad, is the camera. So if your students know how to use the camera, they will be able to app smash with your help. Once we know a little bit more about app smashing, if you feel like you really want to do some more research about this and get some background information, you can look down here. There's some links here. This first one is a really good link. It's written by the Greg Kulowiak, the one who coined the app smashing phrase. And then down here is an app smasher guide. I think it's called the Definitive Guide, written by this gentleman here. So that gives you some more background information. Once you do that, if you need that, most of you are going to want to go here. And this is the place that I think is where you're going to be getting the information about apps that you want to be using to do your app smashing. And so I like to call this section fluency, getting fluency with the apps. So this link, actually this one was put together by Greg, and it shows a lot of different apps. And there's Google Drive, here's AirDrop. It tells you a little bit about each one, and then maybe what you can do with them. And that's really the big trick, is learning about apps and what you can do with the apps. If you're like Mershawn Viscusi, she has like the steel trap mind that has, I know in her classroom, her iTunes University classroom, she has like 185 apps that she's picked out for you all. So she is the one who can just remember apps like crazy. But if you're like me, I'm not so good at remembering apps. But if you can remember 3 things about the apps, then that will get you started. For example, you need to maybe have a creation app. You need to have a showcase app, and then maybe a sharing app. So this link here, it's pretty neat. It's something that you can use to like maybe you want to share, I don't know, you want to You want to annotate your images. What kind of app would you use for that? Well, this link, if you go here, then it'll tell you all about this app, which is used to annotate your images. If you want to, let's see, this is really small for me. If you want to collaborate on a Poplet, on a project, then you can click on this one. So this one gives you kind of a practical guide for which app does which job. I ran across this one, which was great. It's from last January, but it's kind of like an app-a-day calendar. So this is app matching, and if you take things one day at a time, you just want to do a little digging and research on these different apps. For example, Explain Everything is awesome. You're going to learn about Telegami today. I know everybody loves green screen. There's just so many things on this calendar that you can be doing some checking out. It's always good to have something that's like something that you know really well that you're using, but then reach out, go out of your comfort zone a little bit, try a new app every once in a while. I like this page because it gives you a matrix of apps, and it gives them by their function, like for researching or maybe for writing, brainstorming apps, creation apps. There's Telegami again. And at the end, I like this because I didn't know too much about this, is sharing apps. And I know Jean used YouTube as her sharing app, and you'll be seeing that in just a few minutes. Let's see. Now, down here at the very bottom, this is the Avatar app, and we're going to be looking at this. This is something that Mershawn has put together, and it's going to highlight some of the work that the other teachers who are going to be talking in a few minutes, the things they've been doing with some of these really neat Avatar apps. Alright, so now we're going to go over to the next column, which is tons of app smashing ideas. So, once you've gained some fluency with the apps that you've been exploring over here, when you go over here, this is where you're going to get a bunch of ideas on maybe some projects. Maybe you're kind of stuck, you're not sure what you want to do. You need some ideas. Well, this is like the drawing board where you can get some ideas. This is a Padlet, and it's been put together with all kinds of ideas that people have done for app smashes. So it'll tell you for digital storytelling, you could use this app smash. They're kind of like recipes. So you'll use Telegami, 30 Hands, PhotoSpeak, and iMovie for this one. Or maybe you want to do a QR code scavenger hunt. You'd use Dropbox, the QR code maker, and Pages. And for example, if you don't have all of the access to all of these, if there are some that are apps that you have to purchase, then there are always substitution apps. So don't worry about that. There's lots of free apps out there. I love this one. It's the App Diet. And you can create these. There's a template for it. And you can have the students have some control over what they're going to be doing. So one of these die is a creation die, and there are 6 apps on it. And then the other one is the Showcase app. So the students can roll, and then you get to see what are they going to use to create their project, and then how are they going to showcase it. What app will they use for that? So I think that one's pretty neat. Let's see. Lots of different things here. Twitter. Twitter is amazing. This is the live Twitter feed that you can follow. Every time somebody puts something up for app smashing, it'll show up on this board. It gives a lot of projects that people are doing, gives some ideas. Graphite is an amazing website that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes, and it's got amazing things on there. So that's the Twitter feed about app smashing. And then finally, the Pinterest app smashing board. This is my board that I use, and I update this all the time. Whenever I find something amazing about app smashing, then I will link it on the board. Some of these are already on the Everything's Free page for app smashing, and some are new. So you might just check it out, see what you like, and try something. Jump right in. Okay, so now go back up to the top. And let's see, I want to show you a little bit about what Jean has done in her classroom, and I'm going to let her video here speak for itself. What this is, it's a pick, play, post. You'll see it right here, pick, play, post. And it's kind of like a pick collage, except you can embed video as well. And so this is one of the things that we would like you to be working on so that you can be telling us what you are going to be doing for your project. Hopefully we'll be able to have a wonderful brochure or program for the
session
presentations you're going to be doing in March, and we would love for the people who are coming through and checking everything out to be able to view kind of a menu of what everyone is showing, and they can click on this and see what you're doing. So this is.
All right, my Apps Master project started with researching animals, the idea of animal research, and we started with a book on RAS Kids. It started with Whose Tracks Are These? And we read that, we did some research on the computer about animals, and then I had students find pictures of these animals, which we used with an app called Chatterpix Kids, and they recorded their voices on that. And then we used an app called Videolicious to make a longer video of their research results. And then we put all of those together into a final project in Pick, Play, Post, where they had the photos of their animals there. They had pictures of themselves doing the work of the actual project, the writing, the research. Then their Chatterpix Kid result is here, and also their Videolicious. So put all of those things together in a final project with the app called Pick, Play, Post.
I love this. Jean is just amazing. And her students, I got to go out and visit her class, and they were just doing an amazing job. And here's an example of one of the student pick, play posts, the culminating product. The student has a very soft voice, so I'm going to talk a little bit while you are watching it. This little quadrant right here is the video that's going to play, and that's from Chatterpix. And then this one is the Videolicious video. So this one you can't hear very much, but watch the mouth, because that's what the student made move when they recorded their voice, so they could they recorded their voice and you can hear what the student says.
Animal project is about deer. Deer are about 70 to 700 pounds. Deer look like moose, but they do not have hair. Deer eat plants, fruits, acorns, nuts, grass, and evergreen plants. Deer live in. My animal project is about deer. Deer are about 70 to 700 pounds. Deer look like moose, but they do not have hair. Deer eat plants, fruits, acorns, nuts, grass, and evergreen plants.
That was her Videolicious video, and it was really fun because all the students loved that song. So everyone used the same music, but I thought it was wonderful. We're going to talk a little more with Jean in just a minute, and I'm going to have her, we're going to kind of have a little just casual interview, and we're going to go through the process that she did when she did her project with her student. But first, I want to go to the last thing I want to introduce to you today, and this is kind of a big thing. This is called App Flow, and when I watched this, it just rang a bell for me. It made everything fall into place as far as integrating technology seamlessly into lessons, not just a project, but into lessons. So I think that the App Smash and then the App Flow are two amazing things that I want you to take away from this Everything series today.
Monday night bears, please sit down. Please find your seats. Our learning objective this morning is going to be looking at mood, right? And so we are going to be doing a bunch of different activities and some learning experiences and some check-in about what mood means in terms of verbs and grammar.
My name is Jessica Lura. I teach 8th grade English and History at Bullis Charter School in Los Altos, California. An app flow is essentially a framework for teachers to help drive their instruction, ideally trying to infuse technology into the different elements to really make a robust, pedagogically sound lesson. In my classroom, I use app flows to help teach my lessons, to guide my instruction, and to make sure that my students are getting opportunities to use technology in meaningful ways to help meet their learning objectives.
The process for today's lesson overall is we're going to learn about mood using this Nearpod. Then we are going to write some examples using a computer with your partner. Then you are going to create a skit. We're going to be using a Google Doc to write the script. I'm going to be asking you to indicate what type of mood each sentence is, and then you are going to use your Telegami app to record your central monologue. Okay?
And so I think the app flow really helps teachers make sure that they are using technology for educational purposes, but also are kind of bringing up the quality of their own lesson.
We are going to start off our lesson this morning with a short little video. You may recognize the show. It might have been something you watched when you were a little child.
In the hook of the lesson, the students are really going to be exposed to trying to get them engaged in what we're going to be doing next. And so I'm using a video from PBS Kids, and so I really want students to sort of start thinking about dialogue and how people use dialogue to communicate, as well as being able to use that as a springboard into conversations about verbs and sentences.
We're going to come back to this video later in this lesson and sort of see if you guys have some better understanding of what mood means in terms of this. So please pull out your iPads. We are going to look at a Nearpod presentation.
In the direct instruction part of the lesson, the students are going to be interacting with me using the app called Nearpod. I have created essentially a mini lesson about mood and the different types of mood.
All right, so can you guys write a sentence using the subjunctive mood?
There's an opportunity for me to have the students write in answers. It's a great way to do a quick check-in on whether or not they're understanding what we're talking about, and what I need to reiterate or what I need to check in with specific students about.
Okay, who would like to share their sentence? Tommy.
I highly recommend that you brush your teeth 47 times a day.
Excellent, thanks Tommy.
So in guided practice, students use the website Padlet. It's an interactive wall, essentially, where students are working with partners to create sentences that exhibit different types of mood, and then they post the different sentences on the wall, and all the students can see the wall, and so it helps students who are struggling or who don't quite understand yet the different types of mood. They're able to use each other's examples that are posted as models for their own sentences.
Okay, who can share an example of an imperative sentence, a command? Cece.
Eat your vegetables.
I think those are the easiest moods. The next mood is the conditional mood.
The app flow really gives teachers the opportunity to reimagine how a lesson will happen in their classroom. Traditionally, they have a 5-step lesson plan that they sort of plug things into, and this is really helping them reimagine what is possible. It's allowing them to really think about what technology tools and applications will really help their students meet the learning objectives, as well as kind of pushing them to think about, is there more than one type of technology that will help me get there?
Girls, you done? Yeah. Okay, so why don't you guys log into your Google Docs, and you can start your script. Okay.
In the independent practice section, students are using Google Docs to create a script. They're working in partners to create a monologue, ideally, and then they have the opportunity to take their script and sort of bring it alive through the Telegami app.
I wish you'd just stop talking to me. If I stop talking to you,
they love to record themselves. They're creating something, so they're really engaged. And some of them get really silly, which makes it even more fun for them. In the wrap-up, the focus really is on students showing mastery to me and showing how much they mastered the learning objective. Students use their iPads to participate in a Kahoot quiz.
Are you guys ready? Yeah. Let's see who knows their types of sentences.
I essentially post up questions, and the students use their iPad to respond to the questions. I'm able to track the data on my end to see which students get it correct. The students like it because it's colorful and it's fast and it's fun. And it's a quick way to recheck in to make sure the learning objective is being met, and if it hasn't been, which students I need to follow up with.
The point of today's lesson was to teach us about mood and go kind of deeper into the verb mood and show how it is connected with sentences.
I think I really liked using Telegami because you could actually make your own virtual character. I like the aspect that we could customize it, but we still were like learning. And I think that because of that, and since we record our own voices saying the sentences that we learn with Mood and everything, I think that it stuck with me better, and if someone quizzed me right now, I would be able to confidently answer.
My favorite tool to use was Padlet because I liked how we could share our answers, compare and contrast, and I think it was cool to be able to look at other people's work and their telegamis. That was interesting. I like that.
But I think that using all the different tools, we got to get a different experience every time we used a different tool, and that way we got to...
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there, but I just think this is an amazing tool that's available for teachers. It's located on graphite.org. It's right here at this link. You can learn more about it. There are about 500 app flows that have already been created. There's this template that they have that you can use to create your own app flows. I think it's just an amazing tool. I like to think of it as lesson app smashing, and it's a real practical application of using apps in lessons. So I hope that you've enjoyed learning about app flows and app smashing. So going on, we are going to, I'm so excited to talk to Jean today. She is one of the most dynamic teachers that I've met. She has shared so many things in the past on the TeleWiki. She's just an amazing educator. She is also one of the most humble educators I've ever met. She loves her students. I just love the enthusiasm that her students had when they were working, and so I'm going to invite Jean to join me now as we talk a little bit about the things that she did in her class, and I'm going to ask her a few questions, and the first one is, I want to know, how did you get started with the tech projects in your classroom, Jean?
Hi, Kristen. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
You sound great.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, good. I actually got started actually a long time ago, a couple of years ago. In the summer, I didn't have anything to do, so I started taking pictures of the dogs, and I like to look at the photography apps because I like to put the frames and the special effects and the stickers and the hats and all the kind of funny stuff. So I just got interested in that, and then when I got the iPad grant, it just like was the answer to prayer, because now I could try and do all that kind of stuff with students, and they wouldn't mind, you know, me taking pictures of them and they taking pictures of me. And so I really got started just after I got the iPad grant, and just thinking about how to use those photography apps to document what the students were doing, because I was interested in doing e-portfolios with the students. So I wanted to put their work up on the website to share with, you know, the teachers in school and their parents, and just with a wider audience.
Okay, great. Well, I know that sometimes when you get something like the iPad tray, it can be a little bit overwhelming and everything, but it seemed like you took it and you really developed this around a theme of animal research, and you just spiraled and spiraled and spiraled, and you found so many ways to have the students do research related to this topic. So we're just going to go through some of these slides, and I want you to tell us a little bit about how you approach this activity with your students.
Okay. All right. Well, I did theme in the animal project because always liked animals, and it was related to what they were doing, a lot of it in science, so we did start with that.
And you know what? You were app smashing, and you didn't even know it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I don't know. I made a sequence. I said, okay, thought in my mind, here's what I want to do, and I kind of wrote out a sequence of how I wanted to go about it to get from, you know, the beginning of the idea to the end product, and then what things I would need along the way to kind of get there. So that's how we started with the RAS kids, because you know, I have a lot of kids who are not really good readers, so they could get the content and not have to worry too much about being able to read correctly and accurately. So that's how the RAS kids came about first. And then we jumped off from the RAS kids to all the rest of it.
I loved how you had your sequence written out here, and so all of this is going to be available for all the teachers, so that if you want to go back and kind of replicate some of the things that Jean has done with your own students, that you'll be able to do that. We'll have this, I'll post this on the Google Doc or the Google Classroom for everybody. Okay, so once they had done their, read the Raz Kids book, and then they went ahead and took some pictures, and then they used Videolicious, and they were amazing at Videolicious.
Yeah, Mershawn actually suggested that to me because I hadn't used it before, and it really worked out well. It was really easy, and just with a little bit of instruction, the kids just took right to it, and they were real successful with it.
So tell us how the students use their cameras and Chirp.
Okay, I had them to use their cameras to gather pictures of the animal that they were going to do research on, and then I also wanted in their final product to show them actually working and writing and doing the research on the computer. So I had them kind of take pictures of each other doing the non-technology things, you know, with the iPads that were assigned to them. But then I had to get those photos onto the iPads of the student that actually, you know, they were the photos of. So in other words, student A took pictures of student B doing the work, but then had to get those photos onto student B's iPad. So again, Mershawn came to the rescue with Chirp. And we love using Chirp because it's got that funny little sound with it, and it is so easy. You just put the iPads kind of near each other, and you can send immediately any picture from one to the other, and you can save it. You could even send it by email or something, but it just made it really simple to move photos from one iPad to another.
Okay, great. I love that one too. Chirp is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to come out and videotape the students when they were doing these Videolicious videos, and they were a pro. They were really good at them.
Yeah,
So,
I had them practice first for the fluency. They, you know, it's easy to kind of rush through these to get to the final product, but I really had them practice, and of course they didn't really enjoy that part, but they really had to practice and get fluent with their writing and with their reading before they got to record, because it, you know, it was going to be shared with a lot of people, and I wanted them to be proud of it.
and then you brought in Chatterpix. Tell us what happened here.
Oh, that is so fun, and I did that with second grade, and I also did it with fourth grade, and again, doing animal research. This time I had them draw their animal, and this came from another reading A to Z book. I think it was called Animals or something like that. But they got to pick the animal they wanted, and they drew a picture this time. And then the book actually told some facts about the animal, so they used the information in the book, and that's what they spoke or they recorded to make the animal's mouth move, and they just drew the mouth on the animal with their finger like a straight line, and then they recorded their voice telling about the animal, and when you play it back, the animal's mouth moves, and it's like the animal's actually doing the talking. So it's a lot of fun. It's easy, it's quick, and after we did the first one for the real project, and I was helping, you know, some other kids, the ones that were already finished went back and started making other Chatterpix just on their own. You know, they just took another picture and they put the effects and they said something about it and just had a lot of fun with it. Very easy. Very,
and this might be good for students who, you know, can't have their pictures online or anything. So that might be a good solution for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So when you wanted to compile everything, I know in your instructions you had Pic Collage, but then in your final product you had videos and you used Pic Play Post.
Yeah, I like Pic Collage, but you know, that's just the picture part of that. And then in looking back through their stuff, I saw, well, they have these great Chatterpix, you know, and they have these Videolicious things, and I wanted to include that. So I stumbled upon this Pic Play Post, and it was perfect. The videos can play sequentially. So you could put, as many videos in there as you wanted, and you can go into settings and they can play sequentially. So one after the other after the other. They're not very long. I think they can only be like 30 seconds. So maybe it's just part of a little video, but it's enough to put in a project so that somebody gets a sense of what the kids were doing.
That's awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we would like to see all the teachers try out. This is the assignment, is to create a pick, play, post about your project. And now you're famous. I love your avatar for your YouTube channel, Jean. That is so awesome.
Yeah, that was something from called Webface or something. I think you'd have to do it at home, but avatars are fun, fun to make.
And this is the last step of app smashing, is actually to, after you've created the project, go ahead and share it out with the world. And you did that by uploading the pick, play, post to your YouTube channel, which I thought was a really neat thing.
Yeah, that worked the best because I wanted an embed code so that I could put it on the Weebly. I've started a Weebly for an e-portfolio for all the ESL kids that I teach. So I wanted to not just put a link on the Weebly for people to connect to and open up a whole different, site. I wanted to put their videos actually on their Weebly page so you could watch everything directly from that page. So YouTube gives you that embed code, and you just copy it and you paste it on the page, and when you save it and publish it, the video is right there on the page. So it's really very, very simple to use.
That is really neat. I'm just so proud of you and for you inviting me to your classroom to participate with your students. I miss that so much, not being in the classroom anymore, and it's so fun. I was able to go to Montclair as well this past little while ago, and it feeds your soul, what you're doing.
Well, it was great to have you come out too, and for the kids to see you and to see other people looking at what they're doing, and it just made us all feel really important. So thank you for coming out and sharing with us.
Thank you so much, Jean. If any of you would like to contact Jean, I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer questions you might have about Chatterpix or
absolutely
Videolicious or her project.
Yeah. Sure. The Pick, Play, Post project, I would say maybe over a week, because you read the book, you do the research, you find the photos, you practice, you write, then you practice your writing, and then you make the Chatterpix, which is really quick, and then you make the Videolicious, and then you put everything together. So I would say probably 2 weeks for the whole entire project. Chatterpix was really quick, and once you've done the writing, you use that writing in a lot of these different things, like in Chatterpix or in Videolicious. So the writing was really the hardest part and took the most time. Once you've got that down and you're pleased with the writing, like we went through the whole writing process of editing. Jenny Grant actually helped me with that because she's really good with teaching writing, and she gets really good writing out of kids. So she worked with me and got them to a point where their writing was really good, and then that's what I used in a lot of these other apps to showcase their work. So that was the longest part. But altogether, maybe a couple of weeks. Just maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe 45 minutes sometimes. But I broke it apart, and did a part at a time. So it just kind of built from there. Yeah. It's the Pick, Play, Post was our culminating project, or the culmination of that whole book study or unit of study, so to speak. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jean.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me share. I appreciate it.
You bet. And everyone needs to look forward to one of our upcoming newsletters, because Jean has shared some new apps that I'm sure you'll all be interested in. So I'm going to be sharing that out soon. Okay, Bill, back to you.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. just want to show you that I'm going to the Everything series Kristen just made, and you did a wonderful job, Kristen and Jean. Thank you so much. The link that I have is on the app smashing website that Kristen made, and I'm just trying to show you where it is on the bottom. Down here at the bottom, we're going to talk about avatar apps, which I heard you mention, Kristen, in your interview with Jean. And avatar apps are a great way for you to help your L's to practice speaking and to not actually have to be themselves. It kind of allows them to be a version of themselves, and it can allow them to share or collaborate without actually having to be the one standing up in front of the room and speaking, which is terrifying, isn't it? This is my avatar page, and I just want to give you an orientation of it, and then I'm going to talk to, I would like Sarah Pinty and Holly Slick to get ready because I'm coming right to you and getting you to share in just a minute. We saw the Telegami app inside the video that Kristen was sharing, and this is actually the link to the app. This is a link to a how-to video, and this is actually a Telegami app that I made after visiting Holly Slick and Sarah Pinty at their school. It's so easy to make. The app creates this avatar character, and then you can insert an image in the background that your students could be speaking about. And I think we saw that in your app flow video, Kristen, that the students were using that to explain mood. We're here from Susan Neat, and this is a really great app that she likes that's very similar to Chatterpix. And I think it's probably something that might even be better for middle school and high school. The Chatterpix can kind of be a little bit more of an elementary, maybe K3 app. And we're going to get to hear from Virginia Watson from Sterling Elementary. And this is also just one other app down here I wanted to share with you called Funny Movie Maker that allows you to kind of insert your mouth onto an image, and you can see this avatar that I made of myself. Down here at the bottom, we have, we saw the avatar app that image that Jean made of herself, and these are just apps that you can actually link. Just are going to give you like a one-dimensional avatar, and then you can take that avatar and put it into Chatterpix or FaceTalker and actually animate it. So this is a great place for you to help your students create avatars of themselves. And avatars really empower students. Look here on this part. This is some of the reasons why we might use avatars. They're easy to use. They protect the student's identity. It allows them to role play. It promotes student creativity, and it also promotes digital citizenship because it allows students to kind of protect their identity in this world that we live in. We're not going to go over all of these resources down here, but this link right here is actually from Shake It Up Learning, where I actually got some of the information about avatars. These are some websites that help you. Blackrise is a very popular Web 2.0 that I think actually really freaked Bill out the first time he saw it. I know that we have Faye Turner out at Nations Forward using sock puppets, which this app allows you to kind of create like a puppet show where your students become sock puppets. And this is also a great app that allows you through Puppet Pal to create kind of a puppet show story with your students. I just wanted to draw your attention to the Atomic Learning courses that I've linked here. Atomic Learning, if you've not been on there before and you need help with getting logged on, it's actually atomiclearning.com, and you log in with your CMS email, and I can let you know the password if you don't know it. But these two courses, if you take them, you'll actually get continuing education credit. You get a certificate, and the cool thing is that it automatically links to My Talent. You don't actually have to print anything out or send it to them or anything. And these are actually Web 2.0 Powtoons, Boki, and Pinkston that allow you to kind of create cartoon character stories with your students. Before I come up and talk with Sarah Pinty and Holly Slick at Montclair, I just wanted to draw your attention to the iTunes course. This was something we gave you on the launch And I just wanted you to realize that the whole time that I've been posting, and I'm up to 185 posts of different apps. And every time Kristen finds something, or if we find a smart team that's using something, I link it here. I just want to encourage you to keep using this iTunes course. And if we come out to your school and visit with you, and you're not sure how to get to it, it's in your iTunes University app, and I would be glad to show it to you. I know Faith Turner mentioned that she opens this up and actually refers to it when she's lesson planning. So I want to encourage you to keep looking there. New ideas are coming in there all the time. And these resources are here for you to kind of dig deeper into avatars and how to use them in your class. But now I'm going to come back to Sarah Pinty and Holly Slick. So if you could unmute them for me, Bill. Welcome, Sarah.
Can you hear us? We're together.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Great. Welcome. I just want to thank you for coming here, and if you could just tell us a little bit about the experience that you had with Kristen that allowed you to make these movies.
We really enjoyed Kristen and Bill's visit, and when you come out, it's an awesome time for the two of us to really learn with our students. Some things that we really, really loved about iMovie is that at the novice level was really great for our kids to get excited about taking movies and speaking, because it's so hard to get our newcomers from new to the United States to speak, and they wanted to speak and speak and speak during iMovie time, so that was really good. And it was also a way for me to get my intermediate group to, I kind of tricked them. They took pictures and they wrote small paragraphs, and then they loved it because after they were edited their small paragraphs during their writing time, they imported their small paragraphs into their iMovie.
So is this your newcomer one here in the purple?
Yep, newcomer video.
Let's watch this first.
Oh, we can hear her.
We can't. Can you hear me? They hear me, but not the video. Oh, let me try this. Better? Better? All right, so this is wonderful. This is a newcomer who is taking a risk and speaking on here. How difficult was this for her?
She did good. They all did good with it because I paired them up with partners, so I wasn't hovering over them while they were taking their videos, and I think that helped.
Yeah, they were comfortable to try.
Right. So they all did very well with it, and they enjoyed it. So I just wrote down a couple different ways you could use iMovie if you wanted to hear that.
Yes.
They also went back to their classroom and showed their teacher. They're very proud of it.
Also, I think something else was really cool about the newcomers is that they wanted their speaking for that listening piece of ESL. They would hear themselves say it incorrectly. I know that the video you just played had like bad audio, but the kids in the newcomer lab, they would say it and they would watch their own video and they're like, oh, I do it again. I can do it again. And they kept practicing it till their speaking was correct, which I thought was a good thing.
Well, let's watch this next one you made with an intermediate student.
To me because my mom can't help me with my math homework. Reading about videos who set world records, these people are amazing. I enjoy reading the Tiger Kids magazine with my cat. have some good magic trios, because I'm excited about.
That's wonderful. And I saw Sarah in that. Is that one of your students, Sarah?
Yeah, that's one of my intermediate students, and I had them write at least 2 sentences about each picture, and some of them ended up transitioning into small paragraphs, but it was a good way to get those intermediate kids who really struggle with writing. I found like iMovie is my ticket to getting them to want to write more because they know they can edit it and then speak it into their movie.
Now, iMovie has 2 features. It has where you make a movie. It looks like you guys used the trailer feature. Did you guys use a trailer?
I think we used the regular iMovie feature, and then we added, sometimes Kristen showed us how to add captions, and then she also showed us how the kids could speak what they had written about each picture.
And not all iPads in our iPad trays have iMovie, but iMovie is sometimes on the Apple ID of the school, and Videolicious is another way to present that we saw earlier that's a free app. iMovie is not free, but it's an amazing app, and sometimes if you ask around, you can have access through it, through someone who has it for free. But is there anything else you wanted to say about your experience with the trays, as far as what you think has been helpful, or how you guys have been working together, or anything else you want to share?
Did you want me to share some ideas on ways you can use the iMovie with the students?
Okay, I know you guys have played around with ChatterPix, which is one that we were talking about tonight as well.
I think the kids get so excited about ChatterPix. You can use ChatterPix with any book, and they love it. You can do quick retells or predictions. One thing that I recently used it for was research questions about a nonfiction topic. We had a picture of a shark, and they wrote down research topics, and then we read different books about sharks, researched them, and then we made another ChatterPic of each kid made their own individual ChatterPic of the answer to the research question, and they turned out amazing.
Wow.
Like, the kids can now, they like to, at the end, the last 5 minutes of class for Holly and I, we can just give them their iPads and be like, make a ChatterPic of something you learned today, and it's amazing of what they make on their own.
That's wonderful. And there are, as far as iMovie, they have templates out there where you can actually give a paper template to students where they can plan out their images, and so that they can get some writing in their plan when they come through.
Yep. Also, with the iMovie, we recently did some PD for our school, and I thought it was really great since Kristen and Bill and you had taught us how to use iMovie. We actually made a PD for our school on the 7-step vocabulary strategy, and we used iMovie to demonstrate it, and put captions in, because Kristen had showed us how to do that. So we put the name of each step in the 7 steps in the iMovie, and I was like, this is great. We don't have to talk in front of the staff, and they can see it with kids, and it was really awesome.
Wow, that's something that would be wonderful to share with new teachers. When we get new ESL teachers in the district, that would be a fabulous resource.
Yeah, Karina is coming to our school on Thursday, Karina Mota, and she's planning on, she may put it on the PSYOP wiki.
That's wonderful. It's amazing the quality that the iMovie app can give you and your students as far as editing. So, of you, I know I was talking with you guys, and Holly, you said that there was one time that you took a risk and tried an app when you didn't really feel like you knew how to use it completely. You just trusted on the kids because they're citizens, they can figure it out so quickly. Can you speak to that, taking that risk and trying an app when you're not completely fluent with it yourself?
Yes, I mean, because of course I was a little timid with some of the apps, but you suggested when you came out to just let the kids have some freedom with the iPads and play around with the new apps, and sure enough, I did that, and they figured so many things out and showed me things that I didn't know either. So thank you for that little tip. We're still working on that, but yeah, they are a lot quicker learners than I am, and they like to teach the teacher.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We're going to move on to Susan Neat, but we want to commend you guys. You are a wonderful PLC out there, and we're so proud of you and the work you're doing with your students.
Thank you
guys for all our help.
All right, so Bill, if you could
It was great.
Well, I would love to introduce Susan Neat, who's out at Valentine Elementary School. She's right here on my website, and this is actually a link to her Vimeo, which we've been seeing people use YouTube, and I wanted to make sure and let Susan have a chance to share because, Susan, you use Face Talk more often than ChatterPix. How are you doing, Susan?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Let's watch your student here share Face Talker so we can see the difference. Hold on just a second. Let me press play.
Hello, my name is Olivia. I am 6 years old, and my birthday is November 18th. I am in first grade in Miss Johnson's class. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and go to Valentine Elementary School. I live in the city of my are some of my favorite things. My favorite part is food. My favorite animal is a dog. My favorite food is chicken. And my favorite sport is horseback riding. At school, I love to art. And my favorite book is the book. At home, my favorite thing is to do and make something. And I am
I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. She's adorable. And one of the things I was talking about, I was sharing ChatterPix, and can't stop it. Susan, one of the things that you mentioned was there's not really a time limit with Face Talker.
Correct.
Have you had really, really long videos that your kids have been able to make with Face Talker?
They're usually about 2 to 3 minutes long.
Wow. And like with ChatterPix, you can only do one that's about 30 seconds in length. And how would you say Face Talker is as far as the kids who use it?
It's really good. I usually do an About Me poster with the kids at the beginning of the year. You can order them off Scholastic, or you can make your own. And I just wanted a way to kind of spice up their posters this year. So what I did was had them record their information into like an outline, and then I had the kids record their videos on Face Talker, and then I uploaded them to my Vimeo channels and created a QR code and stuck that on their About Me posters.
And did the Vimeo allow the kids to, access it from home? Have you heard any feedback from the children as far as sharing it? I know not all children have internet at home, but have some of your kids looked at it at home? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Well, and also, Susan, if you could share, before we move on to our last person, the idea that you had that was so amazing, the encouragement wall that you have in your school where you have videos that your kids can listen to when they're feeling down?
Yeah, I just took some quotes, some like encouragement quotes, and then linked each quote based on what the topic was to a video. Some are from Kid President, some are just random videos that I found online that were talking to kids and trying to help motivate them. And so they can just take an iPad out to the hallway and scan, listen to a video, and that'll kind of pick them up. And they'll come back in class and they'll be ready to go.
That's wonderful. And one last thing, I got to see you share with some of your colleagues that you had your kids involved in writing code when it was an hour of code. You had your L's doing code.
They learned through on Brain Pop. There's a video on digital coding where they kind of learned the vocabulary and how that they had to design or tell the computer what to do step by step. And then we got on Codable and Lightbot, and they were programming the iPads to do different things.
And I just want to thank you, Susan, because I think you also support a lot of innovation and creativity with your students. I saw that you had them drawing inventions. Do you also have them take their drawings into, Face Talker or something like Telegami where they explain their drawings to you, the inventions they've created?
No, those are for the TD portfolios, so we didn't create any digitally.
Huh. And what's your next project that you're going to work on, do you think?
This week we are I'm building a QR scavenger hunt so the kids can go on the Underground Railroad, and they're gonna go from station to station, and different teachers around the building are gonna be conductors, and they're each gonna have a QR code, and I'm gonna post lights on the classrooms that they have to look for. It should be pretty fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions that you have for Susan? You guys, it's amazing.
I want to come out when you do that project. I'd love to video it.
Okay, I think we're doing it Friday morning.
So, next Friday?
This Friday.
This Friday.
Well, you'll have to get some pictures for us, Susan.
Okay.
And congratulations on your good work, and thank you for sharing tonight.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good job.
All right, and I don't know whether Virginia Watson is able to speak or not, Bill. I think she was had expressed that she might have some difficulty with that. So I'm going to share hers. She is using ChatterPix. This is a video to show you how to use ChatterPix, but as Jean shared earlier, it's extremely easy to use, and we're not going to watch this whole video. You can come back and watch it, but the very first clip is just adorable. It's one of her first graders. They actually did their own drawing, and he is talking about a football game and how he's going to beat Honduras, and he's from Mexico. He's really, really cute. Just watch a little bit of this from Sterling Elementary. And I remember Miss Watson being really just fascinated in how he was able to communicate through this app, and I wanted to show you that how long he went on talking about his game. Her first graders and the drawings they did. And she also showed towards the end of the video where she had given students an image. This image she gave the students, and they had to create a story from it. And this is a great example of how she said, you know how sometimes when you have students draw, they can take a long time drawing and get more embedded in drawing and not get onto the task. And so this is an example of where she gave them an image and asked them to make inferences about what they thought was happening in that image. And I just loved it. And I also just want to say that one of the reasons why I wanted to hear from Ms. Watson is that at Sterling they actually have a app lab where all the newcomers can come in and work, and she has just been fearless, and she's included her team, and they're all coming into the lab and using it. They've been doing Poplet and making Book Creator, and I just want to commend the work that they're doing out there, and you guys should take time to look at this Chatterpix example that she has. So anyway, this resource is here for you guys. I hope you to practice with avatars. They're a wonderful way to get the kids speaking and interacting. We talked about telegami. And I hand it back to you, Bill.
Yeah, I don't need to switch screens, so I'll just keep it on your screen, Rashawn. But basically, we've gone through the agenda. So if you have questions, you could feel free to post it in the question box, and we'll be monitoring that. I think we've kind of been answering them individually as during the webinar. You can also raise your hand, and we'll try to unmute you if you'd rather just speak. But while you're thinking of questions, or maybe you don't have any, we do want to go over the assignment. And Kristen and Rashawn, please feel free to jump in if I'm leaving something out. But our goal is for you guys to create your own pick, play, post. Just like here you see Jean's pick, play, post. So on hers, she did a video. She listed some of the apps she used, and she gave a description of her project. Okay, so there's two goals here. One, it's a great app to use with your kids, so it will allow you to practice and learn how the app works, right? But also, it's our way of finding out everyone's project. So how are we going to do this? First, you need to load the app onto your iPad, and you could do it just like Jean did. Take a picture, maybe put a video on there, tell us what apps you're using, maybe put a little description on there of your project, or if you're doing more than one project. I thought it was pretty cool how she had her school on there. Whatever you could think of. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but we need to get an idea of what your project is going to be. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to do exactly what Jean did. You're going to upload it into YouTube, and then you'll send us the link. Now, some of you are thinking, oh my goodness, I have no idea how to do that, and that's fine. And some of you are going to think that's really easy, and that's great. So I think what we'll do is we'll make sure we send you kind of step-by-step directions to help guide you through the process, but we definitely need this turned in. Okay, this is definitely going to be for credit. If you do need further support, of course we'll be there to help. But it's I think we want this back by January 20th. So it's the 12th today. It gives you about 7-8 days to create one of these and send us the YouTube link. So we'll get you some directions to guide you through the process. Use each other as supports. I'm sure Jean would not mind if you contacted her, and of course there's 3 of us for you to contact. But again, it's a great app to use. It's an easy app to use. It's a great way to collect student work as a little portfolio. But we also want to know what project. It's go time now, because we have access testing coming up next month, and then the poster session is the month after that. So we really want you guys to be working hard on your project. So if you don't have an idea, think about it. You got a few days to create this, and just let us know if you need support. Kristen, Rashawn, anything else they need to know?
I think the pick, play, post is really easy to use. You're going to be able to choose between a lot of different templates, so it'll give you a lot of choices as to layouts, and I would just play with one. Just start with one, and you can always delete it. That's how I learned how to do the pick, play, post that you see here. So everyone's going to look different, and that's going to be fun.
And Kristen, you wouldn't say the pick, play, post is not hard to use either. I thought it was very easy.
Right, it was very easy to use.
And if anybody is feeling concerned, we urge you to contact us so we can help you. The people who are doing extremely well have asked and reached out and gotten help, and there's so many resources on this Everything series that Kristen has built for you. So if you just take the time to go in and look at that Pinterest on the app smashing, you'll get so many ideas.
We do have a question, and I don't. Maybe Kristen can help since she was out to see Gene. Do the kids create the pick, play, post themselves? That's from Lindsay Zalea.
Actually, Jean had the students do that. So I wasn't there when they did the pick, play, post. I was there when they made the Videolicious videos and the Chatterpix videos. But I think she probably had them open up the pick, play, post app, and then they use the camera, and they can just click on the square that they want to insert the selected video or the selected picture to. And once they click on it, then it loads in the square, and then they click on another square. So they're really going to be using the camera roll a lot for this activity. But I know students should be able to do it really easily.
Yeah, and actually, Gene just responded that yes, they did. It seems like a fairly easy app to use, and thanks, Gene, for answering that. But yeah, it doesn't seem hard, and it seems like you can have a lot of fun with that one. Endless opportunities. I'm just checking real quick to see if we have any other questions. It looks like we're good. We have no hands raised, and I think we answered most of the questions. We do have some requests for Mershawn to visit the schools. So like I said, that's not surprising. Mershawn's great. When we these next few weeks, trust me, we will be I don't want to say hounding you, but we are going to be in touch because we want this poster session to be amazing, and we just want you guys to show off. Want you to stand out, and we want to show that we have technology leaders in our district. So I think that's about it. We finished 3 minutes early, guys.
Thank you to all the teachers who participated, and thank you to Kristen and Bill for all your hard work.
Yeah, you guys were amazing, and thanks for staying on with us. We're gonna post this on the Google Classroom, and just look out for that email. Hopefully, we can get that out as soon as we can about the directions for the pick, play, post. All right, guys. You can always email us, call us if you need help. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Even if you're just getting started, that's okay. We want to be there for you. And thanks for attending, and keep working hard. We're proud of you guys.